Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. First of all, if I would have known that this would be Shark Tank style, maybe I would have asked our CEO to come instead. But I'll try to do
We have no
my
money, so it's fine.
Let's see. So AI is being used to write code, compose symphonies, fly drones. But in aviation scheduling, the tools most commonly used are either Excel or are tools that were built in the 80s and 90s. AI, or the flight schedule, is a mission-critical part of running any airline. Yet most schedule planners are flying blind. They don't have any visibility into which schedule performs best, even though it is critical in terms of driving revenue to the company as well as shaping the guest experience. They don't have any visibility into which schedule performs best, and often only see disruptions after guests do. Odysee is an AI-powered decision engine that finally provides planners with instant trade-off analysis, visibility into revenue, connections, as well as disruptions, and soon AI-generated schedules that are optimized for both profitability and operational reliability. We ingest an airline's data, operating data, and then provide them with AI-generated schedules that are optimized for both profitability and reliability. We're already live with Alaska Airlines, who is our co-development partner, and that also includes Hawaiian Airlines now. We're backed by UpLabs, who is the venture arm behind some of the most innovative startups in collaboration with Porsche, as well as Alaska Airlines. Our team consists of former schedule planners, aviation software experts, as well as academic advisors from both Berkeley and Dartmouth who specialize in aviation scheduling. Over the past 6 months, we've really focused on laying the ground. We've really focused on building for AI success by focusing on clean data, ensuring that decision-making processes were clearly documented, as well as designing the guardrails for building AI success by starting small, building trust, and getting ready to scale. Every decision starts with the schedule, whether it's loyalty, pricing, or disruption management. Our vision is to create the operational brain for the modern airline, where every decision that is made using experience or gut feel is backed up with data. Please visit us on Odysee.ai. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll start. I love this stuff. Spent my early career in airline revenue management and all that. But one of my pet peeves is when airlines schedule with a very tight connection window. So can you talk a bit about kind of how you think about building a schedule and what are the different attributes? I mean, there's obviously the operational part, but do you consider revenue component? Do you consider customer, the traveler journey experience and the airport experience when you're having to sprint through O'Hare in 15 minutes?
Great question. So the first thing, I guess, to acknowledge is that what we're focused on is different from revenue management. We're really focused on helping the schedule planners understand what the value of the schedule is in terms of revenue, and then help them optimize towards the perfect compromise or combination of a schedule that is optimized for both revenue as well as operational reliability. What we're finding is that airlines are losing millions of dollars because they are lacking visibility into how good a schedule is in terms of the overall revenue, as well as they're missing visibility often in important connections. And this is where we are building data sets to help the airline understand where connections are too tight or where they're not meeting the minimum connection time required, but also where they're making important connections because the MCT, the minimum connection time, is maybe 1 minute too short. So we're really providing the schedule analysts with actionable insights to make connections, but also to optimize for operational reliability and guest experience.
And how dynamic can this get? So this is fresh in my mind. I took a red eye last night with a tight connection this morning in Montreal. And the gates were really far apart, so I probably need more longer time. But then next week I'm doing another tight connection in Vegas where the gates are together. Are these the types of things you can take into account, or is it really much more of just like the runway experience?
Right, great question. So minimum connection time is a critical part that we're actually helping the schedule analyst have easier access to. So the minimum connection time is often different if you're connecting between a narrow body and a wide body. It might be different depending on which terminal you're landing or whether you're arriving from an international flight. So all of these constraints and many others go into creating the perfect schedule. So this is a great use case where we see room for optimization and for improvement by providing the schedule analysts with schedule recommendations that already take that into account.
Maybe we dig into that a little bit, because kind of from the presentation, I'm like, you're like in algorithmic innovation, right? You're fundamentally saying, hey, we're better at math than the people you employ, so let us do the math for you. But you're saying data sets. So what proprietary or kind of like in-house data sets do you have that you couldn't just requisition under like standard IATA data clauses?
Great question. So we work with our academic advisors to build proprietary models that take into account both airline historic data as well as forward-looking demand data from external sources. We combine that, we package that. One of the things that we noticed airline find most helpful is that often the lack of visibility internally is a communication challenge, not necessarily a lack of data challenge. We often refer to this as trying or aiming to lower the cubicle walls between teams that are responsible for not just schedule planning, but also network planning, and work closely with the operations team as well as the revenue management team. So we come in with the proprietary models that combine all the data that often exists and help the airline work with that in a smarter way.
Do you then own that data, or is it shared between you and the airline?
We own the proprietary models, but then we ingest and we implement the airline operating data, which the airline continues to own.
And how does the economics work? Are you able to take a percentage of the increased revenue you generate?
Great question. So we're a little bit early for that. We currently charge a platform fee as well as a per tail basis, so per aircraft, so we can scale with the airline. And we're working towards being able to better attribute the increase that we're driving in terms of revenue to understand what the economics of that would be moving forward.
You should tell Alaska they'd have to agree to that business model.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.